You'll need this word. Hello and welcome to the GhostÉire Channel. My name's Anthony Kerrigan and tonight we're joined by Seany Power from Slaney Paranormal Investigators. Hi Seany.
Hey Anthony, how are you?
How are you doing? Oh good. Now I'm gonna get off with some congratulations in a minute there because Seany's got some news there. What I'm going to say is we're going to be talking about the Athenaeum Theatre tonight with Seany. Also intuition. The sixth sense. Have you had it? Let us know. Also, you can put your questions forward to Seany as well about any of the subjects. And the last subject we're going to be talking about as well is Aniscoffy Castle, also situated with the Athenaeum Theatre in County Wexford in Enniscorthy. Tonight, folks, we have also a poll. The polls have closed. We asked you the question there. Have you used your intuition, sixth sense to avoid certain predicament, for example, marriage, relationships with a person, a business deal, or a certain fatal tragedy? We'll be revealing the results of those later on. Also, we have a quiz that's coming up towards Halloween time. We are giving out prizes. There's a chance to go into our Halloween mega draw and mini draw. You have to watch the show. I'll give you a word, be the first person to type in that word, and you'll have a chance to go into the draw with Seany as well, our guests as well. Before we go into the questions there, I'm just going to do a few shout outs there. Rhonda Hampton, Selena says howdy. Sorry now, Rhonda there if I spelled that wrong there. I'm sorry now. Joanne Breen. Hi Joanne. How you doing? Joanne from Seekers of the Afterlife. Mary Dargan. Hi, Mary from GhostÉire. Mary's on next week with us there doing the Ouija hour. Mary says, evening, guys. Looking forward to this all week. Josephine Lanigan Bailey says, evening all. Mary Nolan from Back in Time Paranormal Investigators says, hi, everyone from Back in Time Paranormal Investigators. And Irene from California says, hi, you guys. How you doing, Irene? Hope you're all keeping safe in California there. Also, folks, if you want to catch up on past shows and future shows, go to our website, www.ghostére.net. Go to press the red button, GhostÉire Channel, and you'll see what has happened in the past and what's coming up there as well. Oh, no, that's my mum on the phone. She should be okay. Okay, mum, she won't be watching. She'll be fine there. Like, I've got a sister, so we've got her back up there. Mary O'Driscoll says, hey, hi from Cork. Hey, how you doing? Love to everyone in Cork, the Rebel County. Teresa McMahon from Soul Sisters. Hi, Teresa. How you doing? Hope to talk to you soon. And Mary Kate, how you doing, Mary Kate? How you doing? Good evening to all. It's great to have you. So yes, people, you can leave your questions here because we've got some interesting subjects with Seany now talking about them there. So if you want to put your questions forward, do so. We're going to start off with the Athenaeum Theatre in Enniscorthy. But first of all, Seany, congratulations.
Thanks. More no time for me.
Seany is a proud owner of a new boy. Is He's doing well, isn't he?
Yeah, 4 weeks on now, nearly doing very well. Yeah, thank you.
Oh,
yeah, not a bother.
Flown by.
Not a bother.
The first question I suppose there I'd like to ask you there is, can you tell us what was the first time, if you can remember the first time you entered the Athenaeum Theatre? Can you remember that time?
Yeah, it was probably about 10 years ago. And what do you call it? We were doing a private night with a local group, and we had done similar in the Enniscorthy Castle and similar venues, but just something stuck in my head when I went in, and just I couldn't get it out of my head, kind of thing. So when I learned enough myself, I said I'd give it a go myself. So I went to see the council and stuff about, you know, getting in and staking sort of your claim for it. And I went in myself a few nights, and then a couple of us got together, and yeah, sort of went from there then, you know. So we just did different locations, but we always got through back to the same location. It's like people weren't finished telling you what they wanted to say.
And can you tell us a bit about the history of the location there?
Yeah.
What was it used for first? Or
yeah, it was built in 1892, and it was built for the people of Enniscorthy, to educate the men. Like, there was a lot of drinking on the streets, people robbing, looting, and they just wanted people to have like a social gathering that didn't involve like alcohol, fighting, and so within the walls of the Athenaeum, they were all taught Gaelic. They were all taught to read and write, and similar activities to that, you know. It was just to really educate them, and they had a place to chill, kind of, if you know what I mean. So from theatre shows to bands, to education, it was bought for the people of the town, by the people of the town. So I think roughly in today's money is probably around 3 million.
Okay.
That's what it cost, and people donated. Everyone, like, sort of, it was like a door-to-door collection. If you could afford to give anything at all, it was taken, and it was all put towards the building of that ground, or that particular building, you know.
I suppose it was used during the uprising there in 1960.
Yeah, it was the what they call it. It was the last building to surrender, and I think it was the only other building outside the GPO to fly the tricolour over the building itself, and they were inside there for 4 days. And they were marched out when they had given up. They were eventually marched out by the British, and they were marched down to the ports and shipped over to England or killed, or, you know.
I know, because I've seen the, like, they said the Easter Rise, like, it finished on the Monday or Thursday, but it went longer. It's not accounted for that Enniscorthy was the last place to surrender.
It was sort of like a 4-day bloodless battle, because it was known as the bloodless battle. So it was basically they were inside there. All their plans, all their strategies, everything was done from inside there, and they got their orders then down from Dublin. From obviously they didn't have phones or internet at the time, so everything was done by bike. So imagine yourself how long it's going to take you to cycle, especially on an old bike, from one place to the other, days upon days upon days. So everything worked out and didn't work out, kind of. But it remains an important part. But a lot of people didn't even, from even the town, didn't even know. If you ask them where it was, maybe 30-40% of the place didn't know even where it was. You know, where the building was located, and it's on the smack bang in the town, like, you know.
I remember going there back a few years ago. Actually, we were just having our second child there. Mentioning children there, like, you know, my wife was heavily pregnant and the car broke down in Enniscorthy there, so we had a few days to spare. But going past the Athenaeum, we said, "Oh wow, that looks cool. That looks a cool place." There. And obviously, we'll talk about Aniscoffy Castle later. But two paranormal groups there. You know, so I know the questioner. What's their perspective of the place there? Does it change from when they start doing the investigation to when they do it, finish at the end? Like,
yeah, a lot of groups seem to get what we get in there. Probably not as much because we're probably there so regularly. So we're used to getting the same kind of reaction the whole time. But most groups that go in there just say, "I wasn't expecting what I got," you know, or "I seen a shadow over there and I started to shake," or, you know, something went by the door, blocked out the light, and I just screamed, you know.
I shit my pants.
Yeah. They put it nicely. Yeah.
I didn't bring spare pants.
Yeah. But when you're used to it, like people just say to you, "How do you go in there all the time?" Or "How do you go in there? Are you not afraid?" No, I would have been. When I started first, I would, as you said, shit a brick altogether if I seen or heard anything like that. But it was just gone so used to it now. I just go, all right, you know.
Yeah, because I was going to ask you there, your perspective of the place. Obviously, it's changed there since you first you said you walked in there and you got there. You wanted to be in there. Like, you know, has it changed? Is it constantly changing? Do you feel even more like?
Well, a lot of the archive stuff has actually been removed at the start of COVID there, just in case of robberies and stuff. It was all been put into archive in Wexford, but we're still getting a good bit of the stuff that we would have got from before, but with some of the memorabilia, I think, in there of some of the people that has sort of disappeared since their memorabilia has been put into storage.
Right. Because I was going to ask you, because you mentioned something when we were coming on, we got on a phone call there that recently, if you don't mind talking about there was a photograph of what happened. I don't know what time period. You said you put a photograph next to a candle and the activity of a bygone time there.
Yeah, it was actually Friday night. Yeah, just Friday night gone there. And two of the lads in my group, their father actually used to play in a band in there. So what we did is we recreated really the picture. So we put the picture exactly where that picture was taken, and everyone got an order of the people that were in there. Okay. So we just retook that picture, and then we put a candle then in front of the older picture, just to give it like what do you call it? Just some sense of purpose.
Yeah, focal point, like a point of interest.
Point. Yeah. So we just basically recreated the picture, just for something different, you know, because we tried loads of different techniques the whole time, and we just said we'd try something like that. So that's basically, we recreated the picture from 1956 that was in there.
It's amazing, as you said. Like, I suppose it's like a type of singable theory, past enactment there.
Yeah.
I just go on to a few more shout outs there before I forget everyone.
Yeah, work away.
They've all drawn in because of yourself there, Shawnee, not myself. Rose from Soul Sisters. Hi, Ross. Sorry, how you doing? From Soul Sisters. Kathy Houston from Soul to Soul Paranormal. Hi, John. How you doing, John Halley? How you doing? He's saying congrats, Sean. Paul, how you doing? Yeah, Paul there. Cheeky fella. Brian McMahon from Belfast Paranormal Investigators. Hi, Brian. Mary from GhostÉire, our team there, says, Mary, congrats, Shawnee. Were on any of TAP's programs when they visited Ireland, or perhaps Most Haunted? I feel I've seen you on TV at some stage. Have you been on?
Crime Watch.
6-1 News there. Yeah. At the beginning, at the end, which is bad.
No, we've actually made a program for RT. I think RT actually bought it, but it was only done there last October. But I think it's due next this Halloween. I think it's due, and it's just about what they call it, the 1916 Rising, and the places where it took place, and where people were still connecting with the people from that time era. So we actually did a live investigation with the team.
Oh wow!
And like they were sort of a bit weary, and by the Sunday we were finished, they were hooked, absolutely hooked to the spirit boxes.
Oh wow! I suppose they think it, oh, they go in with a blind eye, but when he hears, when they hear
after a while, they were absolutely like, I'm not leaving here kind of thing. They just came back, and when they were finished, then they asked could they come back again. But then the COVID thing sort of happened, and I put an end to stuff like that, you know.
Is it going to be out this year, or?
I think it should be around Halloween this year, I think, because it was done last year.
Right.
So hopefully, a friend of mine, Michael Benson from Wexford Paranormal, he's actually the interviewer.
Cool.
So John, very knowledgeable. So everyone had a good time doing it. Like, there were lots of laughs, you know, and that's the main thing when you're doing something like that. It's nice to have a bit of crack instead of being serious all the time, kind of thing. And that's the way we work. That's the way we work our own team.
It's nice when you know the person that's doing the interviewing or the production as well.
Yeah.
Paul says, I work there in Enniscorthy a few days a week. That's nice. Well, Paul. Aniscoffy's got brilliant chippers there. Amazing.
Oh, lovely. Too nice.
I know. Joanne says, what we find interesting is that on an overnight we are constantly woken at 2:45 with whistling and banging. And now, is that to do with the Athenaeum there, Joanne? Would that be to do with the Athenaeum? Yeah. That's what I was just talking to you before on one of the live feeds you did. I'm going to show a bit of footage that Seany did. It's up on the S.P.I page there of the Athenaeum then. And what I thought I heard, it was a whistling as well. It seems to be whistling. Mary says, when we investigated the Athenaeum, we found responses to our historical artifacts, trigger objects fascinating. I brought along a Queen Victoria gold crown and Padraig Pearse medal. Needless to say, the medal brought on more responses. That's obviously to do with 1916. And Bridget says from Seekers of the Afterlife, hi guys. We'll just talk more about the Athenaeum now in a second. Just one last question. Kathy says, I experienced it in the downstairs in the Athenaeum Theatre. Also loud bangs. So she experienced a chow downstairs in the theatre. Also loud bangs, a light being put on, a soldier's ghost, responses to asking the spirits to make noises in response to questions, very interesting place. So yeah, Sean, you said there before, like, you know, you got great responses there when actually the spirits are actually asking yourself questions. Is that true?
Yeah. We've actually, to Kathy's there, we've actually caught, as you'll be shown later on, we've actually caught a child downstairs on the thermal. And we had Friday night, just Friday night gone, we got a full EVP sentence saying, I want to go to bed now, from a little girl. And it's clear as day. We got, but we have experienced lots with children in there. So I have a 102-year-old Teddy, and I bring that into the place, and it seems to get a great reaction, you know, because it would have been something similar to the time period of people around that time, you know. Yeah, lots of stuff like that, as Mary said there as well. Trigger objects in there seem to work really, really, really well. But at the end, it all depends on the person too. Do you know what your mind is thinking, and what you think you're seeing and what you're actually seeing can be completely two different things. But a lot of the stuff that the people are saying there, I have seen that myself in there, so I know exactly what they're saying, you know.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of ESP, like I said, a lot of events like haunting or poltergeist activity, the typical types of paranormal phenomena with movement of objects, no sources, or as well people seeing shadows or apparitions as well.
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you, so going back to that, there, what what areas do you find is the most spaces, even rooms or spaces within that rooms?
I find the main theatre to be the most active in there, or the museum itself. That would have been the museum itself in under would have been the room where they did all their tactics, all their maps, where they were going to go, where they were going to do this. But they would have had like use it as a billiard room and stuff like that as well. You know, a learning room, educational room. I find that between that and the theatre itself to be the most to be the most active. But generally, it could happen anywhere. You could, you know yourself, you could be in the place for 5 hours, get nothing. You could be in for 5 minutes, and you just haven't got time to do anything else, only record and listen and ask, you know.
True. Yeah, you could be in a place for 5 hours and suddenly the whole place, boom.
Oh, yeah.
you know,
it just comes literally comes alive kind of thing.
You could be there for little bits and there'd be nothing then really as big as what you've witnessed there before.
We've done places and we could be in them for 5-6 hours and nothing, and you could go back the next day and it could be completely different. Yeah,
true. It's definitely, that's why it's good. I suppose as yourself there, like you've noticed these patterns there, like because you go there and you see it with other paranormal groups as well there. So you kind of notice what links in with them to what you know and what you get there as well, which is great. And it's great. You're doing a great job there, Seany, there. Joanne says, the banter before an investigation sometimes invites inactivity. Do you think the spirits get sick and tired of being asked the same old questions?
Yeah.
That's a question from Joanne.
We've actually, experienced this with Joanne. About a year ago or so, we changed our style of asking questions because there's only so many times, I suppose, you can get asked, is there anybody there? What age are you? When did you die? Or whatever. So we sort of changed. It might sound a bit unethical, but we sort of changed it. Hi, how are you doing today? Have you been up to anything? Do you know, just daily banter kind of thing. And it seems to go like, oh, hang on there now. We're not getting the usual. Is Paddy there? Is Marie there? Do you know? So we just sort of changed it up a bit, and it seemed to be like drawn in kind of to that line of question. And maybe it's just us, or maybe it's just we just sort of changed around, and it seemed to get more active altogether.
It's a good way of doing it there. Yeah, it's I suppose the more familiar with yourself, then it's like a normal conversation. It's like being in a normal environment for them, and they're welcoming you, and you're acknowledging their company there, you know, and you're going beyond how's the weather or how you doing today. You like we normally do in Ireland there. You've gone beyond that and saying, "No, Jesus, you see that down the way?" You know,
just general chit chat like you're talking to your mate. Do you know, that kind of way, and it seems to do the trick.
True. Teresa says, when we went to the Athenaeum, Seany told us the spirits were bored of all the questions, so try something different. So we had a great, we had great responses to hasten a song, sing song, and even a child kicked football to Jamie there. So yeah, like even singing is amazing, like, you know.
Yeah. We would start off all our sessions with music from that time period, and we change it up. We'd have stuff from the 40s, 50s, 60s, and we do it wherever we go. We'd have something related to the building, and we'd leave that playing when we're setting up our gear and stuff like that, you know.
And just sorry, go on, Seany.
Sorry. Just to actually get a bit of life, if you want to say, into the place, you know.
And as well, I was just going to say, because they seem to be attracted to yourself there as well. A lot of the spirits there. Do you feel it's heightened so much that you feel that you feel more comfortable or less comfortable, or do you sometimes?
No, I'm not too bad anymore. I got so sort of heavy at one time that I stopped for about 4 months doing it, because it was just every minute. It was in. You know, it was constantly sort of going in your head kind of thing. So I sort of took a break of about 4 months from it. And then since I've been back at it, it was been fine again, but it just got so much because there's so many people ringing you every day trying to get into this or helping with this, or can you come with me? Do you know?
Yeah.
To this, like it does get on top of you when you're working full time as well.
True. Yeah, it would. I suppose every paranormal investigator or anybody knows that once they've been to a haunted place there, that they feel drained after trying to connect in, and then there's some sort of energy. And then I suppose then you got to think of yourself there, how we affect them as well. You know, do we drain them as well? It's probably the same effect.
Yeah, oh, sure, it has to be. Yeah, I think it has to be that way.
I'm just going to show a video. So this is from the Athenaeum. Now I think it's either this video, so it's coming towards the end of the night of a visit that you did there at the Athenaeum. So if everyone's listening, if you got earphones there, have a quick listen to this. Then, as I think I don't know if it was Joan or Bridget said it there. They heard whistling there. I think there's whistling on this there. So I'm just going to mute myself and Shawnee then and see if you can hear anything here, folks.
Should be. Join us live here in the Athenaeum here. It's Sean and Ed. We're just going down the stairs now back to the museum. Just going to do another session in the museum. If you hear anything or see anything, let one of us know.
It's been an interesting night tonight. A lot of stuff out of the cultist boxes that we've been using and all the different devices. A lot of weird sounds and stuff that freak you out, you know.
Just coming down here, we're with Jenny and the crew from EIPR tonight. After getting some interesting responses, haven't we, Ed?
Yeah.
There's Ed. Yeah. It's freezing in here tonight as well. Absolutely freezing. Just in the museum here now. I'm just waiting for the rest of them to come back and we'll continue on. We'll be going live again during the night. If any is here or see anything on any of the live feeds, please give us a bell. Thank you. See you soon.
Okay, so that was from the Athenaeum Theatre there. Now, there is, if you look up the page S.P.I, Slaney Paranormal Investigators there's a few lives that Shawnee have done there, and I swear, and a few videos that I put up during the week, you can definitely hear whistling, which is that's a common factor there.
Yeah, all the time, yeah, constantly. Generally starts 10. Maybe till 11:30, and then it'll die off then really till about 2:30, 3 starts again then. But it's it's inside the theatre because we've checked whether it was coming outside or inside or where it was coming from. So it's definitely inside, 100% inside. You know.
Yeah, because that's why I don't know. It sounded like you can refer to distant sounds like outside traffic or anything, but it seems to be. Is an echo with inside the building there. Mary from Back in Time says, "Hi, May. Is there any one experience that you cannot explain, something that quite simply blew your mind?"
Yeah, well, it's been quite a few, but probably on the what do you call it, on the spirit boxes, I've got my kids' names. I've got my dog's names, which you know, two wouldn't know. I've got my address, my home address.
Jesus.
Yeah, and I'm not the only one. One night, I think 4 of us got all our addresses one after the other, and like that's impossible.
I was just going to swear.
Yeah, it was just so weird. 4, one after the other.
And this is nothing to do with that, because you do the post stuff in as an occupation. You're a postman.
Yeah. No, it was just fucking weird. And I went home and I go, how the hell? You know, and they were all there as well. Like we all walked out and we just went, "Oh, lads, I'm getting out of here," kind of things. You know, just really, really weird. No, like we've had strange things happen. I've had stuff that I've been told in the Athenaeum, and then when what do you call it? When we've gone down, we've actually caught that.
Okay.
Down there.
It's like the spirits of like a precognition, like type of an event that was going to happen. They told you, and then it happened. Is it?
And then it happened. Yeah, and we've got that a few times. Even with people that say that probably weren't in our group. It was weird. We've had it a few times, and like we'd say, I don't know, there was something was lost or something, and they'd ask, do they know where it is or something? And then a couple of days later, you get a phone call. Oh, I found that.
Oh, wow.
Where they said it was going to be, and they're just there. How did you tell them to say that? And I said, sure, I can't tell them to say that. Like, I was just. No, it doesn't happen every time or not like that. It'd be once in a blue moon kind of thing, you know. True.
Mary says, sorry, go on, Shawnee.
Oh, sorry, work away.
Bridget says, yeah, heard the whistling, which I've heard many times. And Mary says, oh my God, yes, heard the whistle there. Mary says, you're right, Shawnee, with repetitive questioning by groups. I remember this when I worked in Loftus Hall. There were times when I wished the investigators would just think outside the box and approach their questioning with a different perspective. Doing research on the history of the place benefits your question. I suppose that's it as well. You know yourself, the history there, Shawnee, it's there, like, you know, and people obviously are going to see it anyway. There's always going to be prior knowledge of the location. And I suppose it's best to just delve in a bit more deeper or just go beyond that then as well.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, 100%.
I was going to say that. So I'm just going to show this picture as well. There, God, it's over half an hour. Time has flown now. This is a picture. This is at the Athenaeum as well. Would I be right there, Shawnee?
Yeah, yeah. We were with another group in there, and they actually took this picture. That's actually me walking through the door. If you look to the left, like their camera picked up that, so there was only one other person in that room, and we had been talking to a boy, as far as I can remember. We had been talking to a young man or a you know, an older child just before that, and this is what they're
Hello, can you hear me, Shawnee?
Yeah, I can hear you fine. Yeah.
Oh yeah, so this is what they picked up there, was it?
Yeah, that's me walking through the main doors in the theatre there, and we had been talking to a young male just before that. As you see, he's not too whatever way, I don't know what or how they captured it, because the other person was standing on the stage, so there was only me and her in there.
Yeah, it's the silhouette, kind of like shadow.
Yeah, on the left there, look, and sure, like I'm 6'2". Look, that shadow is only around 5'6", 5'7", if you measure it against the top of my head.
Yeah, I remember going. I think there's a location in Cavan there, Bournemouth, that I went to there, and I suppose, I don't know, it was a shadow of myself, but you couldn't actually see myself. You could see the head torch, but you could see the shadow of myself. But I knew I was in that corner. Now, as you said there, in that picture, it was just a shadow of me, nothing else. And everyone, the surrounding area was like, well, it's on the picture there. But the differences with this one is that there was no person there.
No, that's actually me. Like,
that makes it even more authentic there, like more real, like.
Yeah, I know they got a bit of ridicule for it, like they were saying, "Oh, you put that in," or I remember at the time that the team got a bit, or the other team got a bit of ridicule, but it was actually they took that there and then, like.
I know, so, there's always going to be people ridiculers there, you know.
Yeah.
Mary says, do you know why there are so many child spirits in there?
I think, right, we were actually talking about this Friday, and I had one of my team had asked the same question, and I think it's because there were so many couples, like men and women, that were married in there, and their kids were actually in there as well, because the men were in obviously the men's Irish army, like, and the women were in the Common of Bond, which were in the same place.
Oh,
so
yeah.
So their children were actually in there with them.
So yeah, you had the male and the female, the mothers and or aunties.
Yeah. They were all in the one place. So I think that's why, you know. I'm not 100%, and I could be far from wrong, or far from being right, but that's what we were actually just talking about that Friday night, like, and that's probably what we came up with, you know.
And I suppose then it could be surrounding areas. You just don't know that they can come from different areas of buildings, or just areas that are true buildings. I don't know. I still don't know.
We actually went right. I actually got the archive of people that were in there at the time. As Mary was saying there, I think many other groups had got a girl in there as well, a young girl, and I actually found a couple that were in there that had a girl of similar age and similar, if you want to say, looks that people had described, and that seems to be the girl that we got here Friday night, and we had got in the very same position here about maybe 9-10 months ago.
Yeah. As I suppose then again, it could be that, as you said there, could it be the same child as you're saying then as well, or it could be different children, or is it the sound of children could be just 2 or 3 there? Is it the same 2 or 3 that are coming back? I don't know if that's any relevance there. Sorry, I'm talking. Sorry, Shawnee. Can you hear me, Shawnee? I don't know. Have we lost Shawnee? All right. Joanne says, can you hear me, Shawnee? All right, we've got a technical problem there. If you can just come back in and come back out again, and Shawnee, if you can hear me there.
You're frozen.
You're frozen. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Yeah.
No, sorry. Frozen. So, also in what's her name? I forget now.
Area.
Joanne says, we've noticed the spirits are quick to tell you if they like you. I'm usually told to leave. Bridget and all are welcome. I suppose I don't know. I suppose then it comes. I was thinking this kind of situation there. Would there be like kind of spirits there that would, if you look like someone or have that same name, say if you introduce yourself as Joanne, and like you know, so like there's a couple of people I've had fights with in the past there, you know. A few of them are called Damien. so if I was a spirit and the name Damien came up, I would go, oh no. But you know, that might be it. That might be the reason. I don't know. What do you reckon, Shawnee?
Well, you see, back then probably like women. It's not like now. Women were treated like as second-class citizens or third-class citizens, and a lot of the time, we've noticed on a few different occasions that maybe 1 or 2 of the female members of the group or whatever group might ask a question, and they'll just ignore them, and they'll wait for the male to ask the question. And we noticed that in different places, not just there, in different places, they'll just call them bleep, 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 non-stop all night. Not them all either, but if you sort of put your foot down with them, they will answer, you know.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. It depends. I suppose it could be gender, could be accents. Like my accent won't be nice in some places there. Jenny says, I'm in late, but here as usual there, Jenny, from Without Paranormal. See you soon there, sis. Yeah, she told me to put the name. I got the name mixed up a few times. I don't mean that. I'm just getting tongue tied. Sorry, Jenny. She says, Shawnee, what was the moment in the paranormal world that made you most scared?
When Jenny walked through the doors of the Athenaeum with no makeup on.
Yeah, that's it there. Okay. Is that seriously? That's it. Jenny said yes there. We'll move on. So, Mary says, has anyone ever been harmed on an investigation, like scratches or pushing?
Definitely. I don't think so. No one has. People have said they've felt just heat on the back of their necks or something like that. You know, not as been reported to me. You know, obviously they could have, but not any of our group anyway. And no one has really said anything. They just said they felt like breathing on the back of their neck, or their back of their neck was red hot. But I don't think, other than that, I don't think it was a whole lot, you know.
So yeah. So folks, it's interesting. There's something I could talk to Seany for ages about the Athenaeum, because it's a very interesting place there. Jenny says, "Oh my God!" Yeah. So there we go. So we're going to reveal the poll shortly. There, we're going to talk about intuition next there. But first of all, we've got the quiz, folks. So you can enter as many times as you want there. Halloween's coming up, which is brilliant there, amazing time of the year, and everyone's out investigating, which is amazing. We just want the first person to, this is the word, you got to be the first person to type the word down to enter the draw, and the word is going to be 6 cents. So SIXTHSENSE. Be the first person to type that word in and be in with a chance to go in the draw. Seany be in it, and we'll wait for people to come in. 6 cents. So I've tried saying that one quickly. Oh, Jenny's got in there. There. Oh, there, Jenny. I knew it. Jenny get in there. She's gone for number 3. Somebody, I don't know, that was 6 cents. I don't know, that's about me or something. So, sorry, Kathy, there, you're right there. Jenny beat you to it there. But Kathy, you're in the mega draw anyway, so that's a good thing there. Rachel Lauren again says 6 cents. They're all coming in now with the comments there. So Rachel says, hi, Rachel. Rachel Lonergan says, can anyone say what shaking is about? Shaking beds, bedside tables, etc. Would you have a shaking? I suppose. Would you have an answer to that, Seany, or do you want, or
I'll let you take this one.
Oh, jeez, oh, thank you. It could be to do. I suppose it could be to do with anything. I suppose if it's shaking, it's an object. It could be infrasound. Yeah. It could be ultrasound. It could be numerous things.
Yeah,
natural, or man-made. Shaking. I suppose when sound hits an object, either reflects or absorbs it. There could be the way the land is underneath you as well. So probably it's to do mostly with an environmental problem. Best probably seek go to your council probably if it's really irritating you there, or landlord, or if you have any problems, just seeing an environmental probably officer there. If it's disturbing you that way there. If there's any other things, it seems to be just beds anyway. So if you notice it's just shaking, it's just something that's isolated. It's just a common pattern theme. Declan Clark says, did you ever get a fright when you see your own reflection? Cheers. Yeah, cheers, Declan. I don't know if that's a joke there. Yeah.
Every
day. Yeah. Rachel says, happens all the time in my mom's house. Okay. Yeah, just see, just check it, see how frequent it happens then. It could be to do, mainly might have to just move the bed. It might be easier there if it's frequently happening there as well. Weather can affect it as well. And also weather and, yeah, weather can have ground vibration seismometer there. If you've got a vibration, a geophone, like an instrument like that, you might be able to see how much the ground vibrates. At spirit level might be an easy way of using something just to check how it is. Kathy says it can sometimes be your own trapped energy that needs out. That's probably Kathy might be responding to Rachel there. I'm not too sure. Do you find yourself very protective of spirits in the Athenaeum, Seany?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, I'd say probably yes to that question. I'd have a mutual respect. If they have respect for me, I'll have respect for them, you know, kind of thing. I don't want no one going in general to any place and shouting and screaming and say, oh, if you don't talk to me, I'll do this. If you don't talk, you know. You should have respect for any place, not just the Athenaeum, but any place you enter. You should show full respect to the spirits that you may or may not encounter, you know.
True. Yeah, that's a great point. I know. I suppose we're there as if we're really spiritual, then we're there as counselors as well. We're there to listen to these energies there, and we're supposed we're there as well. Whatever ways we communicate with them, EVP or Ouija board or whatever, we got to listen to what they say and take it on board. Kathy says, So we're going to go on to Joanne says, what is your favorite go-to piece of the paranormal equipment, Seany?
Recorder, 100%. Audio recorder. You can't doubt. Well, you can doubt, but you can try your 90% if you get something. And you might doubt yourself a little bit, but then if you come back and what you're after hearing is on the audio, that's say like 2 people or whatever have experienced the same thing. It's just maybe if you're on your own, you know. I would say the recorder. I like the spirit box as well, but I would say the recorder.
So yeah, it's just like calling out individuals there, and with equipment, with sound equipment there. Like it's the most probably best device for picking up spirits there, because I suppose our eyes aren't the best sense really there. So we're going to talk about intuition now. So this is the next subject there. So so we're just going to talk about intuition. We're going to do the poll, reveal the poll soon there. So Seany, can you tell us there, what is your experiences with intuition there?
As the more I've done this, I've been doing this for about 12, 13, 14 years now. And the more I've done it, I wouldn't have had it at the start, but the more I've done it, the more I seem to be in tune with what, you know, with what you're picking up. A lot of the time I would hear the stuff before it's actually said. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but sometimes I would hear the stuff before it actually comes out on the audio, or it comes out on your spirit box, or, you know, all depends. All depends how tired you are, what energy you have, or what the spirits of the place make of yourself, really, you know.
And do you reckon the information is coming through like a different being, a higher being, or a spirit guide, or just is it just telepathy? Like, is it type of knowing you're surrounded with remote viewing?
I don't know really. I say it could be any one of the topics that you mentioned, but sometimes it's the person. I find sometimes it's the person, because I've seen people pick up stuff and I just start like, fuck, do you know how do you know that? Yeah. And then when it's happened to myself a few times, I was there, yeah, I have a good idea. I have a good idea now how it is happening. But this sort of people that I see doing it have been doing it for a good while. They're not coming in and 10 minutes later they're saying, oh, the spirit of Maureen said you have 5 spuds for your dinner or something. But, you know, it seems you have to be doing it a long time for you know, to get the balance.
True. And I suppose, is it like, I'm just going to go and show a couple of photos there when you've said that you've sort of taken a second guess, but do you think, is it to do with something like being aware of our environment, like having our eyes wide open, being with no one, secluded spot? Or is it to do with like, or is it the same, like closing your eyes and taking out that visual sense and just meditation?
Yeah, probably a bit of everything. You can't narrow it down to one probably particular thing, you know. It's probably a bit of everything. Or the people, I find people in your group, if you have a, what they call a high energy group, it seems to trigger a lot more stuff. If you're having the laugh, having the crack and stuff, and not being like, shh, everybody, not a sound for the next 5 hours.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
it just goes dead.
True. Yeah.
So I tend to find, if you have a conversation, if you're talking about everyday, daily things among yourselves, they find it more interesting and they want to come towards you. They want to join in on what you're talking about, instead of you're sitting there saying, is that the spirit of Tom over in the corner? And nothing coming through. But if you're there laughing about things that happen during the day, or, you know, or what happened, they want to get in. And if you play your audio back, that's what we would do a lot of time, is we don't bring the audio home and maybe listen to 5 hours of it. A lot of the time we will review it there and then. So we might do a 5 or 10 minute session and I will play back. that 5 or 10 minutes, and then my team or whatever will pick, or they can hear then, so they have a pact, if you know what I mean. So they're not saying, if you were getting spirit through and you don't want to ask, say, I don't know, whatever his name is, you're getting through, and then you're just saying, how old are you, how this, and you're asking 40 million different questions off topic to what they want you to talk about with them. So that's why we do the short review, so we know what path we're on, or whether you're dealing with something positive or dealing with negative. But 90% of the time you're dealing with something positive, most of the time anyway.
As you said, I suppose you don't want to make it too arduous, as in for the team as well, like to be loading them with, as you said, like 5 to 10 to 15, 20 hours of audio or footage, when you could easily just review it there and then, and then you get everybody's idea then as well. I suppose
everyone gets, the way we work it, everyone gets to speak. Like, it's not just me, everyone gets to say, everyone gathers around and everyone has their thoughts of what it is or what they're trying to say now. But most of the time it's very clear what they're trying to say. But
I'm just going to go. So go ahead.
Sorry. Work away.
I'm just going to go through a few questions. Kathy says record is the best equipment to use indeed, and your own intuition. Rachel, I think, is in regards to bad dreams about a place picking up on energy. So I suppose that's like empath, feeling different energies there. Bad dreams. Now that could be to do with the sleeping pattern as well. That's a different subject altogether there. Mary Dargan says, do you have any mediums or spiritual communicators on your team that can enhance an investigation, or do you believe that people have that natural ability? Do they have that themselves? Like,
yeah, probably. We don't really have any mediums on our team. We probably would have had people coming in with us every so often, you know. As Mary said there, you do get attached to a certain building, and they seem to get attached to you. So like, they trust, as Mary said there, I think that they trust you to protect them. Then Tom, Dick, and Harry coming in and shouting and screaming the whole night at him. Do you know, they're, as you said,
I suppose as a team there, I suppose there's nobody that singles themselves out as being psychic or medium, and I suppose that's good with the group as well, because then you're not all given a sort of like a power trip kind of thing there. Or we've all got different skills there, but you don't, you know. Yeah. You know, even you like
the picture that you put up, I was actually eating my lunch, and something just said to me. I heard a girl's voice in my head saying, "I'm here now," and it was just out of blue, just literally out of blue. And I took a picture of that house and zoomed in on it, and that's what I've seen in the gate when I zoomed in, and I was there. No, there's something wrong here, or do you know, there's two pictures after going in together, but there wasn't. It's the same. If you look at it,
and where was that picture taken?
That was about 2 years ago in Clonegall. And so I did my research into, as you can see, into the left-hand side of the gate. Now, I put them stupid circles on it to everybody. It's just...
that's a crayon. That's a crayon. Not even a pen.
And we actually had a laugh because I put it on and I was just there. Yeah, I know. You know. But you can actually see a little girl. You can make out that in the left-hand side of the gate. You can see her hair. You can see the white top, her eyes. But that's what I made out, and that's what anybody I showed that picture to made out exactly the same before I even told them what it was.
So that you were using your intuition then as well.
Yeah. So I actually did research. I actually did research into it then, and a couple about close to 200 years ago, 180 or something years ago, a little girl had fallen, because it's the river house. A little girl had fallen into the river right beside the house, and she was pretty much the same age as that girl looks in that picture.
And we have another photograph here, as you're saying, that we used intuition again there. This is at the Athenaeum there. I'm just going to put this up. I think it's the Athenaeum. You can correct me again. Sorry.
Yeah, it is, yeah. This that one. We actually caught that. on a thermal camera, if you look to the left of the center of the screen, it seems to be the image of a man that we picked up down in the museum. And if you look at it, you can see the outline of the man. You can nearly see his facial features. That picture is actually very clear. And I had to look at it 5 or 6 times just to make sure I wasn't seeing what, you know, I wasn't seeing something.
And I suppose with it, so I know, sure. So with intuition, is does it happen regularly to you there, or does it times when it?
Not all the time, no, just the odd time it would happen, but that was in a room with nobody else. That's actually on the bottom left. That's the front of me. So that was our thermal took that.
Oh, that's interesting. Very cool. Like,
what you make of that yourself, Anthony?
Oh, well, that's cool. Like, you know, as I would say, like, you know, I myself there, like, it's the heat source of on the left, is it? And that's your
on the left there, yeah. That's me. That's me there on the front left.
Yeah, and I suppose the heat, it must be going like 13 degrees. Is it 13 degrees?
Yeah, 13 degrees, and I think the rest of the room at the time was up around 20, 21.
And I suppose it resembles something because it's like your temperature. Then it's resembling it's resembling the temperature that you are there, so it coincides with probably a person there as well.
Yeah.
But if you know yourself, then if there's no other person, then
there's no other person in that room.
It's a very interesting catch there, you know. You know, I use thermal imaging. I almost got back to using it myself. You know, I've got enough. You tend to go off equipment there, but you know, thinking, geez, I must use that again there. You know,
yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, I haven't used it in the past 18 months, Seany, because we haven't been outside.
I know.
I'm forgetting now what I do now. But yeah, it's a cool catch there, like, you know. Well, we got Kathy, so we just come back to more of the questions. Bridget says from Seekers of the Afterlife, we totally agree. We can't be quiet. We have a laugh, but are also serious about what we do. Seekers of the Afterlife, as Seany said. Yeah. Jenny from Emerald Isle Paranormal to know there, and then absolutely. Don't know what Jenny's on about half the time.
I say it's the recording. It's the recording she's on. To play it back straight away, you know.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That a lot of teams do that now as well. Like Kathy says, yes, you're so right, Seany. When the group is in good form with each other, it seems to bring in other energies because it seems to make them feel at ease, so they can feel safer to interact with you. Perfect. Yeah, that's true. And Rachel says, definitely some people have that ability. Thanks, Rachel. There, if you're with any other teams there, I haven't mentioned there, folks. Yeah, just give the teams names or tourist attractions there, and I'll put call out the name of the group as well. So I got the poll results here, Seany. This is what the poll was. I'll just get this up there. So you had a chance, folks. There was a poll there, and I asked you there did you use your intuition yourselves there? And here are the results. So 77.8% of you said, yes, thankfully, I did the right thing. This is in regards to averting a certain predicament from marriage, a relationship with a person, or a tragedy. 11.1 says, unsure if I did, but I have. And 11.1 said, no, I'm such a lucky person. That was Seany. Put that one in. No, it wasn't Seany. So a lot of people, I'm just lucky. A lot of people said, yeah, they have used their intuition there. I suppose it all goes down to what they think has happened there. People may have used their intuition and may not be okay. It might not be allowed to answer this, unfortunately. So not in that way there, but you know, it's a biased page, I suppose, with paranormal there. We would say, most of us would say that. We're all capable of using it, are we, Seany?
Yeah, everyone. It's just more people are probably use it more than most people do. But everyone has intuition, obviously. Everyone has it. But people probably aren't sure how to use it or set it up. It just all depends, I suppose, on that particular person.
Also, we have also Joanne says. So I know Joanne says, when the museum was open during the day, did anyone have any experience they couldn't explain? All right, so during the daytime, would there be people reporting?
Nah, I don't think so. But you see, the way it is there at the minute, it's not opened at the minute, and it's just getting people, I think, to now the lady that actually runs in there sometimes, that works in there sometimes, she's experienced numerous things, and what do you call it, she'd be well into the paranormal side of stuff. But she said she just got so used to it, she just pottered on with her day, and and that was it, you know. But a wealth of knowledge, like a wealth of knowledge. If you want to know anything about anything, she's one of these people that knows, and she knows. She's brilliant. Like, Greta is absolutely brilliant.
And what's her name again? Sorry,
Greta.
Greta. If you're listening or watching it later, there, Greta. Hi to you there. And there was another person who said hi to you, Fergal, there from during the week there as well. Sean. I was going to say that. So we got the quiz here, folks. So Jenny, if you're still watching there, if not, it goes to Kathy there. Jenny, you got a pick of 6 places to choose from there. You have the mortuary, school, windmill, fairy fort, cave, or prison. Just name one of those locations there, and then we'll reveal the result at the end of the show. Shawnee, you like to pick a place there? Mortuary, school, windmill, fairy fort, cave, or prison?
I go for the prison.
Prison, you're going to prison. Okay.
I'm going to finish this.
Life feels like that there. Jenny's picked the school. Okay, yeah, going back to school. The only time we attended schools and joined investigations at a school. That's the only time we go back. But Kathy says prison, and I'm sorry, Kathy, there you were too late there. But if some circumstances come that Jenny just forgets to put down school, which she's just done, then but you're already in there anyway. There, Kathy. Anyway, so the next subject we're going to talk about then is Aniscoffy Castle. So that's situated in Enniscorthy, obviously, County Wexford. There. First of all, quick question there. This is going to be controversial, maybe. Is Wexford the most haunted county in Ireland?
I've heard this before, right? I got this question before, and I know another investigator had got exactly the same question, and I think from Ferns, Enniscorthy, Camolan area, all seems to be a hotspot, and he probably said similar enough. He said, yeah, around that part of the county seems to be generally. Maybe I'm wrong, but maybe more active than other parts, you know. Yeah. But everyone has a different opinion on stuff, like, you know. But I think the southeast in general, like you have the likes of Duckett's Grove and all here, which can be very active, can be very quiet. Like that's literally like half an hour away from myself here. You've Wicklow Jail, you've all up along the East Coast, you have all these big exciting buildings.
Fort and all those places, yeah. It's I suppose, as you're saying there, like I was in, as we were saying, we went to Enniscorthy a few months ago, a few years ago then, and we went to the Father Murphy Centre there, and we could we could hear was children laughing as well there. And what we're going to talk about now is Aniscoffy Castle. When I was there as well, we heard sounds of somebody beckoning us on, like when we were walking up to the top, the battlements there. Can you tell us there, Aniscoffy Castle? Does that have any links to the Athenaeum?
Well, the Athenaeum was actually built on the grounds of Enniscorthy Castle. There's like a sport shop, nightclub in between them. But if you go donkeys years ago, it was actually on the same grounds as the Athenaeum. I think there was a General Wallop or something, I think his name was, and he actually would have buried people underneath where the ground of the Athenaeum is, on the castle grounds.
Okay.
You know, because obviously it's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years old. So it was probably the focal point of Enniscorthy, and still is. It's the first thing you see when you come in. Is if you look up on the hill, that's the first thing you see coming in. It sticks out. So that's the first, and it seems to be getting the visitors back a bit there. Now they're actually reopened. So that among there with the 1798 centre, which is over the far side of town, would be what they call it. It would be generated within Enniscorthy Castle. So they all seem to be getting their like tourist end of it back on track a little bit. Thank God, you know. Sort of put a lot of damage to places in general, like the castle, like the Athenaeum, like the 1798 centre, just for examples, like
you got Vinegar Hill then up the top.
And you can view everything, can be seen from each other, if you know what I mean. So I think years ago, like there was actually an underground tunnel that went across. I went across the, you know, the hill that the castle is on.
Yeah.
There was an underground tunnel under that, and it went over the back of the post office there, the big red building down at the bottom of the hill. And their safe houses were actually over on the back lane over there. So we actually got an old map, and the old safe house is actually, it was like a sheaving kind of thing. And it was over at the back of the old post office building. And I think it's boarded up and stuff like that now, but I think a bit of it is still there.
Was there a group of people that were burnt? Was there? Or was that? I don't know. Yeah,
something. There's just probably many and many and many. Like I said, it's changed so much over the years. From having like a full protective what do you call it, wall around it.
Curtain wall.
To the way it is today, you know. But the focal point from that was that they could see anybody coming up the river, because the River Slaney just flows right in front of it. So they could see anybody coming from the east or the west or whatever way they were coming. And they had a perfect view then of Vinegar Hill as well, because it's straight dead centre, you know, as a crow flies, like. So
it's influential during the 1798 rise, and it was very very prominent with all that. But
now it's been 2 years, I think, since we've been since the last time we investigated it. But like I would have done it with many times with Wexford Paranormal and stuff. We would have done it many times. Always get results in it as well. Now I tend to find that sometimes we can get the spirits of the Athenaeum in the castle, and vice versa.
So so they come and go both directions, like it. As you said, like the Athenaeum's on the grounds then as well on the castle.
But no, not as much as we used to, because obviously we wouldn't be in the castle as much. But when we started first doing both, we would have got a lot of switching between one to the other. We would have got the same people, say, in one area, and same people in the other area.
That's interesting. That's very interesting. I mean, like it's very interesting that it can be at two different locations. You would associate spirit with just one area in a room there, but if to switch locations, then
literally, like they're 30 seconds walk or maybe from each other, you know. But like, do you think that spirits are stuck into one place, or do you think they can actually move around?
They can travel as well, and massive from Dark from Spooky Owls and from Irish Paranormal Investigators. Hi Anne, how you sis? How you doing? And says never known a place like the Athenaeum goes so lively so quickly when Seany has done the walkthrough with us. It's like when it's like telling the spirits, sure, look, Anne's limerick, but she's okay despite that. The castle is yet to be done, though. I think Wexford is very haunted as long as Seany's in the county. That's a good one. It's all to do. That's wherever you go, Seany, it follows you there. Haunted Seany, that's the next one.
I know. Drawn in crayon.
After you there, surely.
Drawn in crayon.
Mary says, a lot of blood spilt on the land around the castle, plenty of spirits there. Yeah, there's a lot of blood spilt there. Joanne says, we've done a daytime tour of the castle. Paranormal investigation is on our wish list. Where in the castle do you think is most active? Yeah, I was going to ask you that there, Shawnee.
I like down underneath, you know yourself, down in the cells, in underneath it. Very cold, very dark, but seems to be active. Seems to be, generally when you go down, you never get nothing. You always get something. As I said, it's been a while since we've done it. So, but anytime we did do it, we seemed to get the same couple of people. But as with the Athenaeum, with myself, Michael in there will get a lot of stuff for himself, if you know what I mean. They look for Michael, which in the other place will be the same.
Yeah, so yeah. So they find a person they're familiar with there, the location there. What was I going to say? Now the artwork, I'm forgetting now the graffiti, the banks and stuff. So I'm only joking. The artwork, there's medieval artwork, obviously, in the dungeons there. Do you think creativity, as like the theatre with the drama, does it bring in these spirits more? Like, does creativity enhance and haunting?
It's a sort of a hard question to answer because, like, it's 50-50 probably. There's probably good sides to that argument, and there's probably bad sides to that argument. So I wouldn't be 100% able to answer it, but probably because if you're bringing like a piece of artwork that was from that era into a place that was from, but it hadn't been in there in a while, like obviously I'd say you're going to get a reaction to that object that you brought in, whether it's artwork, whether it's a helmet or a button. I'd say if you ask 60-70% of the time, you're going to get an answer to it.
Yeah, it's true. I suppose it's like, as you say, like a voice, like if you shout somebody's name, they're going to react. So if you're shouting a particular spirit there, if they're going to see something, like as you could do it every 25th of December, you see a present, you go, wow. So if you see an artifact there that you associated with there,
with their past or with their present at the time, you're going to get a reaction. But on the other side of it, then there could be something that they're not comfortable with.
True as well. Yeah. Yeah, that can be. Yeah, there could be the opposite effect as well, and that can happen as well. Rachel says, "Why are the beaches full of good energy, yet something gets stuck in certain houses, institutions, etc.? Why do kids see these things?" I suppose beaches full of good. I suppose it's to do with the environment that you're in. It's all positive vibes, I suppose.
Yeah, it's clear.
Yeah, I suppose people go to beaches to clear their mind and get rid of negativity as well. I suppose that's another thing there, or forests and all that, you know. Certain house intuitions. Why do kids see things? You got an idea to that there, Shawnee?
Well, I've actually experienced this with my what do you call it, with my young lad. Just 2 or 3 times. I'd never have him really into any of this, or you know, but we actually viewed the house, right? About a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, we actually viewed the house. It's an old house. It was built in, I think it was 1738 or something. The house was. It was literally a shell. And we went upstairs in the house, and my young fella ran down the corridor into a bedroom, and I said to him, "Sam, come back." I said, "What are you doing?" And he said, "I'm just talking to the 2 dead children." And turned around and just walked back like it was nothing. And I sort of looked at him, and the auctioneer sort of looked at me. And
he's not coming on any other house hunts. He's not coming to join other clients.
So we went downstairs, and there was an old swing from the 1800s, and I mean it's definitely from the 1800s. And there was an old swing buried in the ditch, and we pulled it out. And the auctioneer said to us, like, just that's very interesting. And he said, that's the two dead children swing upstairs.
Yeah, the auctioneer said that's your house there. See you later.
Yeah. But like it was it was strange because I sort of looked at him and he just went on like it was nothing, and he just went on playing with his toys, and on he went again, and never said another thing like that. Like he'd often ask me about going, you know, like ghost hunting and stuff like that. No, I wouldn't tell him anything. He just knows I go like.
Yeah.
But like,
yeah, what can you tell them? That's the other thing. That's another good topic. What do you tell kids, like or family members there? What you do, or you know?
Yeah. But people can be what they call it. Like it's not a taboo like it was years ago. If you said to someone years ago, "Oh, I do what they call it. I do ghost hunting," and they go, "You're crazy. You're mad. You're mental." I know it's. Oh, just tell me more.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
You know, it has changed, but we actually, when I was viewing that house, we actually viewed one about 2 weeks later, right? And it was so old. These are the kind of houses I was looking at, just old houses with bits of land with them because I wanted a room. And I went to view the house by myself. So I took a video of the inside of the house, and the auctioneer waited outside. He said, "I'll wait outside." So I went around the house anyway, and I wasn't in the house 5 seconds, and I heard an old woman saying hi.
Oh. And
I caught it on the audio. So I went around and viewed the house, and I came out to her man. He says, "Well, what do you think?" I said, "Well, it's fairly bad." And he said, "Yeah." He said, it needs to be knocked down big time and rebuilt." So I said, "When did the old woman die in it?" And he looked at me and he said, "How do you know?" I said, "Because she said hello to me inside." He said, "How what you do?" He said, "Shut that door there." He said, "Come on." Yeah, so I played the audio for him, and he said, "Yeah." He said, "She actually died here." He said, "About 9 months ago." Oh, she actually died there. He said, "There's no." He said, "You definitely couldn't have known that." But it was just strange, you know. But no, I didn't buy the house.
No. I don't think. Did anyone else buy it after?
No. Oh, they did. Yeah, it's all. Yeah.
So if you're looking at a house around Seany there, like.
Yeah, it was just weird. It was funny though. It was funny because his face just went blood red, and he said, "Let's go."
he's got something to hide, that estate agent there. Jenny says Normandy Beach will be a place to do. Yeah, I suppose when you go on about the Wexford, then you got the Wexford coastline there, and you got Normandy then as well there. Normandy, and then I suppose like it depends. Like coastlines can be very strategic positions.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Years like Rachel's laughing out there. I think it's to do with with your son there. Children's minds are completely open naturally when young, which enables them to see the spirit world as like normal. That's true. I think there's supposed to be chemical serotonin in the eye. Well, not in the eye, but in the system. Then and we get this chemical. Then when we die, then we're about to die, it comes back again. Mary says, "Did you investigate Loftus Hall? What did you think of it?"
Yeah. We did it about 2 years ago. We did Loftus. We rented it out for the night. I think there was 14 of us. So there was a few, but we split up around the place. I know Mary's an expert on Loftus Hall. Very good. Yeah, no, we thought it was very good. What do you call it? We picked up stuff. We were probably expecting too much, if you know what I mean. We were probably expecting too much from the place, but the stuff we picked up was intelligent. So it was very good, the stuff that we picked. But you know, with all the hype and stuff around, not necessarily Loftus, but generally when you see buildings on telly, you're expecting this and that. But it was actually very, very good. It was actually very good, and nothing like we were expecting.
I suppose when you look at TV shows as well, I suppose thinking like I remember doing Redwood Castle for the first time, and it is active spot there. But I remember the first time I'm thinking, Jesus, what's going to happen here? We're going to be the demon going to freaking go and knock me out or something. I'm going to go to hell or something. Like, you see the programs and all that there, and you're thinking, oh well, that didn't happen. Should I have done something? You know.
But you know something, we actually got stuff outside of the hall. Then inside, I think I actually got stuff outside. I got more stuff outside than I did inside. I know maybe that's just me, because there was so much of us there who were trying to split up and avoid each other, kind of thing, if you know what I mean.
True.
But yeah, I think the grounds, we got more outside than we actually did inside. But Mary'd be an expert on that, and she'd be able to tell you everything, where everything was got. You know, like I wouldn't know at all. But it was very good. No, in fairness.
Siobhan says hi, Siobhan.
Hi.
Jenny says, why do you think as children we are more open, innocent to the spirit world, then it changes as we get older without any adult telling you are silly? I suppose that's the reason why. But what do you reckon, Shorty?
It's the childhood innocence. I think that they accept everybody. No one's treated any different. It's just when you start to get a bit older, you start getting your opinions of people and this and that. But as a child, everyone is open. Everyone is clear.
Yes, it's like the Santi thing, which is, we know it's true. That's true as well.
Yeah.
The fairy, the tooth fairy. Bridget says, what do you think about graveyards? As we have one we investigated and we pick up a lot there.
Well, I actually listened to the audio of this that Bridget got. Crazy.
Oh wow.
Crazy. It was actually just last week. She was showing me some of the audio, and I was reviewing the audio with her, and crazy. Just crazy. The start of it was just, you'd never expect to get what they'd actually caught.
Maybe we get to hear it there, Bridget, and we'll come and get you on the show again as well. Mary says the grounds are brilliant. Yeah, I suppose as we were talking about beaches and southeast there, I suppose there's a lot around Loftus Hall there as well. Teresa says shipwrecks as well. You forget about shipwreck. Teresa says, what do you guys think of paranormal shows on TV?
What do you think?
I'm gonna ask you. I'll die first. Go on, you go. Go on.
Hit and miss.
Hit and miss. Oh God, I don't know. I suppose it's all completely different, isn't it?
Yeah.
The paranormal world. I suppose.
What you're doing, what they're showing you in half an hour probably took them 2 months.
Yeah.
To do. It's not, if you went into that same house or whatever and you're expecting to get the same and what they get, but a lot of it is done for entertainment. Like, if they're running around and screaming and this and that, like, if you did that, you'd be kicked out of the place. Do you know?
And that's that. We do that all the time here.
Yeah.
That's the kids that play. I'm running away from them. I'm only joking. That's not on investigation. So.
Yeah, so some of them can be interesting, but a lot of them, when it's done for entertainment, when you see at the end or whatever, or at the start, this program was edited and made for entertainment, you know, a lot of it is shy. You know.
I know. I suppose, as you said, like, I suppose the main true thing is, I suppose, just watching around other paranormal teams in Ireland and seeing what they do. There's more interesting than watching what you see on these Sky TV or whatever you see on. Netflix or whatever.
And it was all dramatized, you know, like the music is put into it and this and that. Like, they might hear, I don't know, something fall. It might be a twig on the ground, and there's 5 lads gone through a window with dun, 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 playing behind it.
you won't mind that it was a bungalow.
Yeah.
But I suppose,
as long as you didn't have triple glazing, you're not too bad.
But I suppose it's TV shows. God, I don't know. I suppose the thing is now it's all gone off TV now. It's all old shows on Sky. I don't know. I haven't got the Discovery thing there packaged there at the moment. That's where most of the stuff is going on. Kathy says, I found the outside of Redwood Castle more active also, and outside Cumber House and Shannon Rectory. I forget that so much has happened on the outside of buildings also. True. Yeah. Jenny says, honestly, big pause. I think Teresa said big pause said it all. That's true, Teresa there. Mary Kate says, haha, screaming around is the fun part. TV shows are hyped up so much. But you got to have a scream there, like, that's what makes, that's what's good for the adverts, in between to hype up the place there, like.
Of course. Yeah.
But for real good investigating is just watch what's happening around with other teams there and watch their live feeds or YouTube stuff there, or just just look around close to your home, like, you know, instead of paying for big bucks there. TV shows are definitely not anything like a real investigation. True, as I suppose, as I said, we've had a few people on with paranormal, being on paranormal shows, and they've said themselves there, there's a lot of, like Steve Parsons was on, and he said for Most Haunted Day, and he said it's all like 40 hours of footage, and you're all trying to get that great camera angle and all that, and there's actually much investigating there. But I suppose like the Most Haunted was great at the time as well there, and I suppose inspired loads of people there as well. Teresa McMahon, oh yeah, sorry, Jenny says, I think people lost the research way, and it's all TV numbers, followers. My opinion, it's a long night, quiet, and only running. What we do is to the bathroom after 10 coffees. I suppose because there's such a demand. Would it be, Shawnee, with paranormal shows that there's so much demand?
Yeah, a couple of years ago, there was so much paranormal shows on TV. They're all trying to better each other, and you ended up cancelling out each other, really.
True, and that's probably still going on now, and that's why they see ghost hunting as a it's a way of getting fame now, I suppose. That way.
As I said to you, years ago, it was a taboo, and now if you say you do paranormal investigation, to go, oh yeah, tell me a bit more. Do you know? It's not as like, even people I know had said to me, oh, did laugh at you, like, and they say, oh, here comes the Ghostbuster or something like that. And two of them I've actually done their house. After that, they've come to me or text me privately and say, yeah, I've actually had stuff happening. You wouldn't come and have a look. And, do you know, this kind of on the QT, like.
On the QT. Don't tell anyone that. You're a bit weird.
Don't tell anyone you've been there.
Don't tell anyone. I'll hide you there. It's worse. You're bringing back a woman or a man to the house. No, I'm bringing back a ghost hunter. Don't say that. You're like with a mistress or a stud, whatever they call them there. Like, but Joanne says, I'm going to get taken off air. There are so many isolated buildings to investigate, but you need to look for permission. At least the graveyard, it's accessible. I suppose then as well as locations and it's great what you're doing with the Athenaeum as well, Shawnee, there as well. Like, you know, fair dues to you there. Oh no, I've just finished filming for Destination Fear TV show in Loftus Hall on Friday the 13th. I told nothing but the truth, guys. I know, we believe you there, man. We believe you there. We do. We believe you there, you know.
Mary's coming down the stairs like that.
Oh, no, we believe you there. We trust you there, man. You're genuine. Everyone is really genuine there. And I suppose with shows, I suppose we can only, and you can't really suppose the people with the shows as well, you can't really blame them. I suppose it's those in the background that are looking for more.
Of course.
The production or more. As you mentioned there, as Michael doing the film and with the production, depends what production company you're with, who's doing the filming as well. Mary Kate says, hiding on a sheet, sneaking into a house. Yeah, that's ghosts, you know, mad things. God, he must laugh at us there. We're coming to the end of the show there, Shawnee. Can you tell us how people can catch up on Slaney Paranormal Investigators?
Yeah, our what do you call it? Our Facebook page is just S.P.I. So it's Slaney Paranormal Investigators. Now we probably should put up a lot more stuff than we actually do, but everyone is working, everyone is busy, so I understand, you know, with everyone working. Especially
we're all waiting to see stuff that you've done. I'm trying to get as much information on you. I can't find anything.
No, I know it's Secret Service. Like,
that's the other thing.
We should put up more stuff because we actually catch an awful lot. So we should put up more stuff. But again, I come home. Again, I come home to eat with the kids and dogs and families and stuff like that. It's the last thing you feel like doing is sitting down, going through footage. And that's why a lot of the time I do review as I go, but I don't like edit it there and then. So that's what I should probably do more, is edit stuff and put stuff on the page. Now, our team knows what stuff we catch, if you know what I mean. But probably more people should see actually what stuff we do catch.
But then again as well, it's refreshing as well. I suppose you that's the opposite then, but then there's the opposite then when you said like paranormal teams. I know we've say if we just mentioned the Athenaeum there, like, you know, they go in not knowing what's there, which is kind of which is kind of a bonus. They did look up your page. Say if I was to look up your page now and I was gone there, I wouldn't know too much of what's going to be expected then. And then kind of nice that way then as well, you know. But as you said there, do put more stuff there.
I will.
Because you get loads of good stuff.
Everyone just says, I don't even change stuff on my own page.
I know, I'd be the same.
So I do be on it, but I don't literally change the picture. I might put up a picture of a missing dog or something like that.
I know. I got a picture. My recent picture was when I was 12. That's how recent.
I had an afro in my last picture that I put
up. Kathy says, great show tonight, Anthony and Shawnee. Oh, cheers, Kathy. Kathy from Soul to Soul Paranormal. Bridget says, great show from Seekers of the Afterlife. Mary Kate says, great show to you guys. I will check out your page and what you have put up, Shawnee. Do everyone check out the page there.
Probably won't take you long.
No. Joanne says, interesting show. Thank you, guys. That's Joanne from Seekers of the Afterlife. Eileen from California says, great show. Thanks to you too. Rachel says, just before you finish, look at Clonmel. Cromwell's army based a mile and a half from Clonmel. So many stories. Seen the strangest things. Message me if you want to discuss further. We will do there. Well, you know, there's other paranormal teams watching as well there. Just catch up and we'll bombard you there, Rachel, there after the show. I suppose, Clonmel, like it's right in the Midlands there.
Exactly,
Clonmel, Tipperary there. I suppose, you got Redwood. You've been to Redwood. You were recently at Redwood, weren't you, there as well, Shawnee?
Yeah, we were there about 2 months ago. We actually Seekers of the Afterlife. We had great results. Now we got some brilliant EVPs from it. I don't think we got anything on visual, but we got some great EVPs between the two groups. As I said, para-unity is great when you're working together with two groups that get on, but there should be more really para-unity than fighting and yourself. People arguing. They should sort of work together to get the better results, but it's not always the way. There's a lot of ego in this world, that shouldn't really be there, because everyone's going for to get the same results. Everyone wants to get the
we forget why we're doing it. We're just trying to make contact, find out evidence and research. As you said, early comments there, I forget who's posted it, research has gone out the window. It's just a video up on the channel or something like that. Brian McMahon from Belfast Paranormal Investigators says, great show. Thank you, Brian. TJ says, brilliant, enjoyable. Sorry, late login. Had a challenge game. Had challenge game, at least we won it. Oh, great, you won it there. And I forgot to mention, TJ, I hope the interview there as well. There, hope that went well, or I don't know, we did that on the Ouija hour. I don't know if it worked out. Thanks for a great show, brilliant as always. Mary Nolan from Back in Time. Rachel says, thanks, guys. Teresa McMahon from Soul Sisters. Hi, Teresa. Hope to see you soon. Good listen to you guys all night. Joanne says, Redwood was brilliant. Great EVPs. Great show, Teresa. Teams can learn from each other. That's Joanne. And Jenny says, words tomorrow with Shawnee. I suppose going back as well, Para Unity, I don't know if that's any go. Like I try and go away from the subject because no one's going to see eye to eye. And that's,
never.
We can only agree to disagree, which is probably the best way.
Yeah, it's nice though when you can get on with another team.
True.
And you can go in literally, like say, even share the cost, share your experiences, share your location. But it doesn't always work like that.
True.
As you said,
it's hard. I suppose even more, it's going to be even harder for teams. So it's good that they do actually work together as well. Like, and we can all investigate 10 groups of us there in the one shed. We'll take turns. The sauna, haunted sauna.
Can I say hello to my team, Anthony?
Yeah, go on. Sorry, members of the team. Yeah,
can I say hello to there's David, Carol, Emma, Rebecca. Oh, we got 4 or 5. Yeah, that's it. That's it now.
So it's David, Rebecca,
Carol, and Emma.
and Emma.
Carol and Emma.
Carol and Emma, perfect.
Yeah.
Just before we got the quiz though, so Jenny, I know you've been holding on there as well, and then I'm going to just show who we've got coming up on the show next there. So Shawnee, you picked the prison. You're going to prison. Well, Jenny needs to go to school, so so here are the results. Let's see. In a Halloween mega draw, I don't know about this. I don't even know. I can't remember. I did this a couple of weeks ago. Here it goes. So the choices were mortuary, school, windmill, fairy fort, cave, and prison. Here we go. No luck for the mortuary, fairy fort, or windmill. Always looking good. You're in the mini draw there, Shawnee, with the prison. You're going to get a gift package over the wall. And Jenny, you're in the Halloween mega draw. Finally, there, you're going to get some free school gifts there for back to school in September. Okay, so there we go. That's it. That's the quiz thing. I know it's kind of crap there, but what? You know, needs must keep people entertained. But as well, coming up in the next show, we've got Carrie Nigella Davis, and Kylie's going to be talking about my life in the paranormal, third eye adventurers, and demonology. So Carrie Nigella Davis from Third Eye Adventurers will be coming on the show in 2 weeks' time. And then next week we have the Ouija Hour. So Saturday the 21st of August at 9 p.m. there. We're joined by Mary Dargan as well from GhostÉire. She's going to be doing oracle and angel card readings as well during intervals of the show. Anything planned up now soon, Shawnee?
We're going to Redwood, I think, on the 23rd of October. I just have a few groups, I think, booked in.
Hello. I know you still be there, Shawnee. There, don't leave me now, Shawnee.
To ring together to get to.
So go ahead there, Shawnee.
Sorry.
Yeah, you're right.
No, that's
sorry, that's
it.
I'll go through a few more last shout outs there. Joanne says we just love annoying Shawnee, and Mary says share the love to everyone at Back in Time, and we will be tuning in to see that show there, Mary. I know it's around the first week of October. I know. So keep your fingers Destination Fear there. We have a few wonderful teams we work with regularly. We learn from each other. That's Teresa from Soul to Soul, and Jenny says, "Yay, third time lucky." Yeah, you're in the Halloween big draw. And Joanne says, "Looking forward to next Saturday." So, folks, that's about it there. And thank you, Shawnee. Much appreciated. Great to have you out. So, folks, and thank you for commenting, everyone there. Enjoy now the next last Sunday evening there, and I won't see you next time. I'll see you in the near distance. Goodbye for now. Slán go fóill. I wish go market.